The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
B1 brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Leave a like and share this on your various social media platforms because that really does help the reach and growth of the channel. Thank you very much for being here with us this evening. Let me give some shout outs to the people who are coming in. B1 to Iron Will, English over Street. I appreciate you for being here, B1. Let me put up, because everybody liked that feature when I did it before. So let me put up the chat room because people kind of like to, I guess, like kind of see their messages in the chat room. Hold on, let me find out how I did that last time. Okay. I think that's how I did it last time. Yep. Is that how I did it last time? I thought that is how I did it last time. So I'm trying to bring up this chat room as I'm waiting for more people to get in. Like around 30 people will really get started. I missed Monday. Sorry, y'all. Sorry that happened. Didn't mean to. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, I guess not. Hold on. Let me get the size right. Get the size right for y'all. Okay. And then kind of. Oh yeah. Gotta put this together. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got a lot of people in here. Oh, stop it. Stop. Okay, so I'm just doing this. I'm still trying to master this feature, but I kind of like it. I think it's cool. I'm only going to keep it up for like the beginning and then towards the end. But we got some people in here I want to give a shout out. Shout out to our sister Gloria. B1 to you, Rachel. I see you in here. One who cares. You truly care. That's why you're in here. Blacklight Revelation. Shout out to you. I see you in your channel. He's been doing good. Great Black Shark on his channel. He's been doing well too. Our brother Torian Rain is in here. I look like I look like one of the Jackson family. Okay. Yeah. I didn't sponge my hair. I got it like the OG afro. Our brother Jojo is in here. AJ is in here. Okay, good evening to you guys. Y'all piling in here. I'm sorry I missed Monday. I felt real bad because I had to leave an apology. I had to leave an apology for that. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna have to make this, shrink this a little bit. Yeah, shrink it like that, and then kind of bring that part to like the end. So when I get it next time, that's I know how to maneuver that. So it's kind of just like right at the corner of the screen. But I like this. I like this. I will keep using this. Just perfect it a little bit. But we got over 30 people in here. That's what I wanted before I get started. Make sure my audio is good. They've been shadow banning us a lot. A whole lot. They've been shadow banning pretty much every channel a lot. And how I know this is because I know what times you all go live. Like for instance, Torian. I know what time he goes live or premieres. So at the time I'm like, okay, well, 5 o'clock my time, he's going. That's like his last of the 3-day video, the 3 videos a day. So I'm on YouTube, and normally, if they're live, this is supposed to be like the first thing you see when you go into your YouTube app. When you click the app, it's the first thing you see. Oftentimes, it's not the first thing you see, at least for me. So I scroll through a little bit, and I'm all like, okay. I don't see it. I have to actually go to their page. This happens with everybody I can think of. I was thinking out yesterday with Black Alpha. It happened this weekend with Jason Black and Tariq Nasheed. So I'm more than likely sure it's happening to me as well too, because other people have been saying that. So it coincides as to what I've been seeing. So that's why, you guys, it's important to hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified too, and to kind of just like check in around the times that you know we about to go live. So with me, it's always going to be like around that 7 o'clock hour Central Time. And I always say something on my Twitter and my Instagram too. So you guys, if you're following me on my social media, you guys will be able to see that as well too. So that's important. You said Iron Will say he got his notification. That's good. Hold on. Let me see. He said he got his notification. Uh, that's good. This is facts. Yep, saw with Tariq earlier. Yeah, yeah, that's good. So, well, you guys are here now. It's like 40 people in the room right now, and we're just getting started. So, I appreciate you guys for being here. Please make sure you leave a like too. Let me get this off the screen. Where did I what? Oh, okay, this one. This is what it was. Get that off the screen. Appreciate you guys for being here. Iron, he said he got his Aaron got his verification. Okay, appreciate that. So let me start off by saying this is new controversy that I pretty much just broke. Like, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was like yesterday, where Lori Lightfoot, her campaign, has reached out to Chicago teachers to encourage them to get their students to volunteer to help her campaign for student credit in exchange for student credit. So I'm gonna read this article, but that's not even a main subject. But this is just new controversy that just came up. Let me hit that. Where is it? All right, it's right here. Hold on. What I see now? Everything messing up. I just put it somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, now I'm not gonna play the video because I already know. I'm trying to, because they've been hitting me heavy with the copyright, y'all. So I've been trying to stay away from that. But it goes on to say, it starts off saying, now this is from CBS News. This article is from CBS News. It starts off saying, concerned residents will gather again Thursday evening to discuss a controversial plan to house migrants at a Woodlawn Elementary School. Oh, come on, y'all. This just popped up out of nowhere. As CBS 2, Lauren Victory reported, this is the second community meeting on this subject in 2 weeks. Okay, and I think the meeting is actually today. So I might have to give like an updated report on what's going to happen after this meeting today. But they were very pissed off on the first meeting, and I'm going to show y'all some clips of that. In a FAQ flyer distributed at the meeting, the city announced it now plans to bring migrants to be sheltered at Wadsworth. I don't know why that twists my tongue. Wadsworth Elementary School, later University of Chicago Charter School at 6420 South University Avenue during the week of Monday on January 23rd. So this is not happened yet, but they're planning for this to happen. So they have already said that they weren't going to do this as they were getting stuff ready, and we're gonna play clips of that. But they said that. Hold on. Okay. So, in addition, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I want to take that out last. I'm gonna do this last because I'm gonna play a couple videos of that. So I'm gonna do this last. So I'm gonna move on. Forgive me, y'all, but I've been going to move on to this one, to this story real quick, and then I want to get to the allegations of the immigrants thing because I'm going to spend the most time discussing that, and I don't want to rush that. So let me get to this first. I was just thinking that because this is all that it is right here, just this. Mayor Lori Lightfoot's re-election campaign sent an email to Chicago public school teachers Wednesday asking them to encourage their students to volunteer to help Lightfoot win a second term as mayor and earn class credit. It was unclear how many Chicago teachers received the email from Megan Kane. That's the woman who was, I guess, working with the campaign, who sent the email, whose LinkedIn page identifies her as a debut campaign manager for Lightfoot. So she is not just a worker, she is a campaign manager, okay? She is a campaign manager. BZilla, I see you. Derek, I see you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. The message was sent to teachers' official work email account, which ends in cps.education.edu. Now that is illegal. That's not something you're supposed to be doing at all. You're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. The email says participants in the externship program would be expected to contribute 12 hours per week to Lightfoot's campaign, and students could earn class credit. We're simply looking for enthusiastic, curious, and hardworking young people eager to help Mayor Lightfoot win this spring, according to the email obtained by WTTW News. Take a sip. So y'all know I'm coming over a little bug, a little something. Had a little stuffy nose the other day. Now this is what the email was saying. Now this is, hello, I am Megan Kane. I work for Mayor Lightfoot's re-election campaign. Now we're simply looking for enthusiastic, curious, and hardworking young people eager to help Mayor Lightfoot win this spring. So you guys know, now Lightfoot came out with a statement earlier today talking about, oh, this was just a mistake. She needed to be re-educated, all of this stuff. This is a campaign manager. This is not just somebody. Now she puts her number at the bottom. Now this is a deputy campaign manager. Okay, so this is not just a new person. Lightfoot, in her news conference earlier today, she tried to market it as this was someone who was uneducated, gave the implication that this was someone who was new to the thing. So, you know what? Yeah, mistakes happen. But this is what she's doing. Okay, and this is how desperate the campaign is at this moment. A spokesperson for the Lightfoot campaign told WTTW News in an initial statement that the effort was designed, quote, to provoke young people with the opportunity to engage in our campaign, learn more about the importance of civic engagement, and participate in the most American of processes, end quote, and quote, done using publicly available contact information. After WTTW News published details about the email, generating a wave of criticism for other candidates in the race, Lightfoot's campaign put out a second statement that said the campaign would, quote, cease contact with CPS employees. CPS is Chicago Public School employees, out of an abundance of caution. Less than 2 hours later, Lightfoot's campaign issued a third version of a statement. All right. Excuse me. Now it says here, all Lightfoot for Chicago. I guess that's the hashtag or something like that. All Lightfoot for Chicago campaign staff have been reminded about the solid wall that must exist between campaign and official activities, and that must contact with any city of Chicago or other sister agency employees, including CPS employees, even though publicly available sources is off limits, period. So they're under no circumstances supposed to be doing this whatsoever. Okay. As mayor of Chicago, Lightfoot appoints not only the superintendent of the Chicago Public Schools, but also the members of the Chicago Board of Education. Chicago's ethics authority, Chicago's, excuse me, hold on, take another sip. Chicago's ethics ordinance prohibits the use of public resources, including email accounts, for non-official purposes. Slow down. I don't want to be sneezing and all that stuff, and so let me take my time. The Chicago Public Schools spokesperson told WTTW News that, quote, as a rule, the district does not cooperate with any political candidates or campaigns. It has not done so to date and will not do so. Chicago Teacher Union President Stacey Davis Gates told WTTW News the campaign's actions was, quote, unethical, and she is concerned teachers who decline to volunteer for the mayor's campaign or encourage their students to do so could face retaliation. Davis Gates said it was unclear how many teachers received the email, which authorities for the union believe not only violates the city government's ethics ordinance, but also the ethics policy imposed by Lightfoot when she took office in 2019. The teachers union has endorsed Cook County Commissioner Brian Johnson in the race for mayor. Johnson is a paid staff member of the union. Okay, so y'all know who that is. All employees of the city and its sister agencies are prohibited from engaging in work on behalf of political campaigns while being paid with taxpayer funds. Encouraging their students to volunteer for a particular campaign could violate those rules and could result in the employee's discipline. So you guys know what that means. That means that if you work for the city, let me, oh my God, that did not mean to do that. Pause this for a moment. Take a little break from reading. So let me break down to you guys what that means. That means if you work for the city, this is the city of Chicago, and I'm sure this is more than just Chicago, but I'm just going to talk about Chicago right now. If you work for the city, the state employee, like if you are okay, I'm going to use an example. The teachers, right? These are teachers who work for the city. They work for Chicago Public Schools. So they are teachers at Chicago Public Schools. If you are a city employee, not a state employee, but a city employee, you're getting paid by the taxpayers. The people who pay taxes to the city of Chicago, okay, you say it's U.S., I figured so. The people who pay taxes for the city of wherever, you cannot use your taxpayer dollars on their dime to work for someone else's campaign. You're not supposed to do that. So the teachers are not supposed to be using their teacher money and all of that stuff. They're not supposed, because they're still working. When you're in classroom, you're working and you're getting paid by the taxpayers of the city. So as they're getting paid by the taxpayers of the city, they cannot publicly endorse, not saying they can't vote for Lightfoot if they choose to or whatever the case is, but they cannot publicly endorse that they want to vote for Lori Lightfoot. They cannot encourage their students to vote for Lori Lightfoot. If you're like a police officer, you can't be, hey, I'm gonna write you this ticket, but vote for, or I'm talking to you, vote for. You can't use, if you're getting paid by taxpayer dollars, then your political campaigns, you can't assist anybody with your political campaigns or anything. You can vote. That don't mean you can't vote, but you can't use your taxpayer dime. You can't be assisting with anybody's campaign, not just Lightfoot because she's the incumbent, but anybody. I took a well-needed break because reading, boy, y'all don't know how difficult that is. I'm getting a new monitor after I get a new laptop, but after that it's going to be a lot smoother. But continuing, sometimes you got to take a little break. Sometimes you do. Pulling that back up, let me see. In July, Black Alpha's in here, be one of you. I see 7-star. In July, the Chicago Board of Education rejected a recommendation from Chicago Public Schools CEO Pedro Martinez to fire 2 George Washington High School teachers who protested city officials' decision to allow a metal shredding and recycling operation to move from the north side to the southeast side. Chicago Teachers Union leader accused Lori Lightfoot of retaliating against Lauren Biaggi. It's a weird name. Lauren Biaggi and Chuck Stark for protesting the decision to give the parent company of General Iron the green light to move its metal shredding and recycling operation from Lincoln Park to the southeast side outside the mayor's Logan Square home. So you guys know what they're not saying necessarily. What they're not necessarily saying is that those teachers also brought their students to the protest as well too. It's not like they were just protesting. They also brought their students to the protest. Now that's something that they're not supposed to be able to do. So they were about to be... Oh, we got a super chat. Shout out to Kevin C for the super chat. I don't know what HNL, I don't know what that is. But shout out to the super chat. He says, shout out to the Black Chicago citizens for pushing back against Lightfoot's migrant directive. Yes, shout out to them. They suggest a nice Latino neighborhood for them. Yeah. And thank you for your super chat. And we will get into that. We will get into that right after this. Okay. Let me see where we were. So they bought their students there and they were about to be fired. And Lightfoot was in support of them getting fired. Lightfoot was in full support of them getting fired. Oh, okay. You're in Honduras right now. Oh, okay. Well, now I know. Well, thank you very much for that. Let me see. Where was I? It's okay. I'm right here, y'all. Political patronage has long pledged all levels of Illinois government, with employees' jobs often hinging on their political activities in support of or against specific political candidates. So this is pretty much saying that Chicago has always been corrupt, and it still is corrupt to this day. Now, the practice which gave the Chicago machine much of its power has been outlawed after a series of court decisions that forced government agencies to remove their practices. Lightfoot ran for mayor in 2019 on a platform promising to root out corruption at City Hall and toughen the city's ethnic relations in attempt to break the grip of the city's, quote, corrupt political machine. I'm still kind of trying to come over the I don't know. I guess it was like a slight little cold. I'm still like really like coming over that. I had it like last night, had some tea and whatnot. Shout out to Cyberdyne for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate that. He says he says huge shout out to the Chicago pushback B1. Yes, there's been a lot of pushback. Now, a lot of this is because okay, all right then. Oh, I have let me see. I get that off the screen then. All right, that's cool. So a lot of this pushback she is getting in the loss of volunteers, which is why she's having to reach out to Chicago public schools or her campaign, even though she's saying that she does not know about this, that she was unaware of this, which we know is not the case, because this is not just somebody who just got onto the campaign. This is a whole campaign manager. Okay, this is the deputy campaign manager who did this. So she is doing this because she is facing so much pushback, not just for her being a terrible mayor, which she's been facing a lot of pushback for that lately, but also she is facing pushback because of the recent scandal, or the recent controversy, I should say, of her housing illegals. They call them migrants. They're illegals in elementary school. So let's actually get into that, because that's the bigger story. After the, you know what? I should have had some tea with honey. That's what I should have did. You know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. All right, here we go. Now, before we get into it, let me see if I got the Copyright Act. This is under the protection of the Copyright Act. I don't have it pulled up, but this is under the protection of the Copyright Act. So,
addressing the controversial plan to house migrants at this Woodlawn Elementary School, CBS 2's Lauren Victory is always investigating. She's live at the Apostolic Church of God, where concerned residents will be gathering in less than an hour to have their voices heard. Lauren?
Jim, more on what the mayor said about this in a minute, but first I want to relay something that I continue to hear over and over from Woodlawn residents. Many neighbors are adamant they are not anti-migrant. Instead, they are opposed to the way the city's been handling everything related to the old Wadsworth Elementary School. Here's a review of what got us here.
I won't lie, it's been a little bit challenging.
That is an understatement from the last community meeting, when a city official summed up the saga of converting a school into housing for migrants.
This is a humanitarian crisis.
Chicago leaders made the case for housing adults at the school, but most in the audience weren't comfortable with the limited information given.
The vagueness of special attention by Chicago Police Department.
We want inclusiveness. We want real transparency.
I've been covering the drama since October, when I learned of work being done inside the school.
Somebody is definitely getting ready for something, but what it is, we don't know.
Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor expressed her concerns about silence from City Hall. Back then, the mayor's office told us there were no plans at this time to house migrants there. Chicago Public Schools went further, telling us all the work was just routine maintenance. We received public records showing more than $1 million worth of work on plumbing alone.
This is an incredibly fluid situation.
In late December, the city finally acknowledged, yes, migrants would go to the old Wadsworth Elementary School.
Our ideal target start date there is January 6th.
They even provided a move-in date, but 2 days before, yet another flip-flop from City Hall. That date would be delayed. Why? We don't know. Is it for more community input, or perhaps because the school's not ready? We just obtained these photos taken this week inside the school. You can see missing floor tiles, ceiling panels not there, an incomplete light switch, and a dangling speaker, just to name a few things still on the punch list.
This community has a right to have a voice.
Just last Saturday, several politicians gathered outside the school in a show of unity. They expressed their frustration about not just the plan, but also the process thus far.
This was not thought through, and this is not fair to the community. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship.
That last person speaking was Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, who is a frequent critic of the mayor. This afternoon, Lightfoot told the press that she's been speaking regularly with the aldermen and others about this plan. We asked the mayor about a perceived lack of transparency.
Our team has been engaging with other stakeholders there for a couple of weeks now, since we made the decision that was necessary for us to open up Wadsworth School. So I would not say that there's any lack of transparency, quite the opposite.
Residents will have the opportunity to ask questions inside this church at a second community meeting tonight. It starts in less than an hour. If you can't make it, there's a virtual option. And of course, I will have a full recap at 10 o'clock. For now, reporting live in Woodlawn, I'm Lauren Victory, CBS 2 News.
Lauren, thank you.
Hey
Hey there, welcome to the Uplift.
I look over at him and he's smiling.
Oh boy, hold on. Let me get that because they always trying to.
It's really a miracle that he's with us today.
There we go. All right, so there y'all go. I just had finished the rest of my tea. I think I'm good now. I think I'm good. I had to mute my mic because I don't want to hear y'all. He's sipping a tea, but anyway, I'm good. So let's break that down. Her hair looks like a science explosion. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. So there's now, so you guys know, this is in the Woodlawn area. If you guys aren't from Chicago, this is the 20th ward of Chicago. Chicago got 50 wards. This is the 20th ward. I'm going to give you guys some statistics of the area. So you guys know this is the, and I'm doing this to show you the racial makeup of the area. So you pretty much can just look at the top. But when it comes to white non-Hispanic, it is, I'm just going to look at the percentage because that's really all that matters, I feel. But it is 8.2%. Hispanic or Latino, 2.9%. Black non-Hispanic is 82.3%. And then Asian is 3.4%. And then I guess other or multi-race is another 3.3%. So this is a solid majority black. This is pretty much all black. If you want to count all of these things up, that's not even, all of the other groups of people are not even 20% of the population. This makes up, black people make up majority of the population in that area. Okay, and she's dropping them off over there. She's using money. She's spending money to fix up the shelters because all of the other like shelters that they have for immigrants are so packed. Remember, I did broadcast like some months ago, and I was saying they're bringing them over here by the bus load. There was over 1,000 of them just coming over here. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can get like a full recap of tonight's thing, because it's not like I can be there tonight. I'm here with you all, but I'm going to get a full recap of tonight's meeting or whatever. But if you guys saw, the news was kind of being slick with a little bit of, they were leaving the questions, but they weren't kind of bringing the answers. So I'm going to see if I can find like the full, I looked a little bit, but I couldn't find it, the full extended like recorded thing. Because they were asking like, okay, somebody asked a very good question. What is the vetting process? And that's a question that the mainstream media, when it comes to immigration, illegal immigration in general, what they call asylum seekers or migrants, when it comes to that question in general, they don't ever really talk about that subject specifically. They don't talk about, okay, so you're bringing them over here, over in this neighborhood, and we got people who are poor in this neighborhood. We got people who need help in this neighborhood already. So you're bringing them over here. You're paying money so they can stay in this shelter instead of fixing up the school so the Chicago kids in that area can go to the school. Y'all got the money to fix the school up so illegals can come over here. So y'all get the money, but not for the Chicago kids to learn. Y'all get it for illegals though. They come over here. What is the vetting process? You don't know if these people got criminal backgrounds. You don't know if these people got mental problems, mental issues. Like, are these people going to come over here and commit crazy amounts of crime in the city? So like, what are you talking about now? Lori Lightfoot, her thing as far as getting rid of the crime in Chicago is just giving more money to the police, which we all know for a fact is not going to help the city of Chicago in decreasing the crime rate. It's not going to help at all. We know that for a fact. I've talked about that so many times. But as far as the vetting process, where is that? Where's the vetting process? You're bringing them over here as if they've already been vetted. And then you're not bringing them among the other Latinos, because as I just showed y'all the statistics, Latinos don't really live there. They don't really live in that area. So why are you like forcing them upon the black area. You wouldn't go up north, or you wouldn't go around where the white folks stay. You're not going to even go where the Latinos stay, but you're going to put them where the black people stay, so they can use up the limited amount of resources that black people have. And we're just supposed to accept that. Black people are supposed to accept that. So black people kind of been saying no. Black people have been really pushing back against this. This is kind of what leads to Lightfoot's campaign being so desperate to where she needs Chicago teachers, the teachers of Chicago, to go like encourage their students to volunteer for extra credit. Because she needs more people, specifically like younger people, because she's getting a lot of criticism. So young people love Lightfoot. She's so great. She's great. She's not. Okay. So this is one of the things that led to this. Now, I've been talking about this for a while now. A lot of people talk about, oh, well, the crime in Chicago. Chicago has so much crime. They only talk about that, and they say it when they can try to market that as Chicago equals black people. So when I talk about Chicago crime, that's just talking about O Block and GDs and BDs. That's just talking about black people, because all black people in Chicago are criminals. So that's just what that is. They don't talk about the crimes from the Hispanic community. Now, as I've been reporting, there has been a big increase in crimes in the Hispanic community. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've been pointing that out. There's been a big increase. Last Cinco de Mayo, there was a big spike in car thefts and grand theft autos, what they call it, car thefts, people being stabbed. And somehow the big thing with Hispanics and like stealing cars and stuff like that. They got like a car thing. Pretty much didn't really go reported. Nobody really talked about that. You didn't see Fox News talk about, oh my God, look at the crimes that they're committing. They don't really talk about that. They only talk about Chicago crimes when they can market that and say, well, look at black people. Look at the fatherless homes and the drug addict baby mamas and the rap music and you know, and the fried chicken that they eat. Look at all of that. That's just black culture. Look at the crime. That's how they talk about that. They don't talk about it in the ways of Hispanics, okay? So you're bringing these people over here. There's not a vetting process. You don't know if these people have any type of criminal or even mental. They might not have committed a crime, but they might have mental issues. You don't know if these people have mental issues. Nothing like that. They're just bringing them over here. They're going out of their way at this point because their shelters are full. That's why they have to do the thing with the school. Their shelters are so full that they had to go to an old elementary school that they weren't going to do anything with, but they had to go to an old elementary school. Like, let's fix that up for the sake of the Hispanics. Now, when people in Chicago talk about the city has resources, the city has enough resources to rebuild these schools. The city has enough resources to where they don't need to be ticketing people, specifically black people, because most of the street cameras and the heavy ticketing, that's mostly in a black area. And I've said that before. They don't need to be ticketing people like that. They don't need to be, taxing people like that. They can use a lot of the resources that the city has to fix the schools up, to fix the properties up, to help black people get businesses, expand their businesses, give them business loans and all of that stuff. I've talked about the discrimination that black homeowners go through in Chicago. There's a lot of gentrification. I've been saying that for a long time. There's a lot of gentrification going on in Chicago that is up to the Chicago citizens to be pushing back against all of that gentrification. Okay, I had another article talking about that. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. There's another article. I closed it by accident. I didn't mean to. But there was another article that was just talking about the Chicago gentrification. Now, when I talked about that before, A lot of people assume that I was kind of just reaching, but I'm not reaching. I was not reaching. Let me see. I don't know. Okay. And shout out to y'all favorite black president, Barack Obama, because this is the Obama Presidential Center who's doing this. Everybody can thank Obama for this. Let me pull this up real quick. Here it is. Now, it says, investors... Oh, my God. These ads. Okay. It says, as investors buy more homes around the Obama Presidential Center, gentrification worries soar. All right. I think this is a short article, so if it's not, I'm not gonna be too long because I'm gonna go on to more videos. For years, housing advocates warned of gentrification encroaching in South Side neighborhoods, spurred by incoming Obama Presidential Center. And those alarms are now ringing louder as recent data shows investors flocking to surrounding neighborhoods at higher rates than ever before. Okay, now the South Side is where a lot of black people are. There's mostly the black people who are on the South Side of Chicago or the West Side of Chicago. So there's a whole bunch of black people on the South Side. So you got black people who are facing gentrification right now, as Lori Lightfoot wants to use all of the resources to help out these illegals who just get to come over here. They call them asylum seekers. No, they're bag seekers. They're not seeking asylum, they're seeking the bag. And Lori Lightfoot is helping them, assisting them in doing so, as black people in Chicago are facing gentrification. Let's continue. People should be afraid. They should be concerned about, I think this is firms. Firms that don't believe in this community buying up homes, said Doxson Romeo, a South Shore organizer with Not Me We, a group fighting for better housing and sensibility. Quote, it's very simple. The goal of every firm is to make profit, right? In terms of housing, that means raising the rent, imposing unnecessary fees, and effectively displacing people. Across the country, corporate investors are buying larger market shares of homes, and that trend has only grown during the global pandemic. That trend is more pronounced in low income and predominantly black neighborhoods. Pretty much mostly black neighborhoods. Low income and predominantly black. I guess. But anyway. Now this is like a chart. It says share of homes bought by investors in Chicago. So this is the chart. Now this is, let me see if you guys can see how I see. Okay, y'all got the mouse too. This is where they're buying this at. This is around where they're buying this at. Now this is where all of this, they've increased this. Look at this. Shares increased 25%. Another share 32%. This one 31%. This is like the fifth ward right here, like around there. Look, this is like the fifth ward and the 20th ward. We were just talking about this is where the Woodlawn and areas around, right? Like right around. I'm right around here. Don't get me wrong. It's right around here. I'm not gonna say exactly, but it's right around there. This 32% of the shares, this is where black people are. This is where black people are. 26, okay? So and then even here, these are the major ones, but even right here, this is like 20%, all where black people are, they're buying the homes because this is where Obama, they got the Obama library and everything like that coming up, which is a whole bunch of construction and stuff like that. So that's where that is. Shout out to Derek for the $10 super chat. He says, keep up the good work, brother. Keep up the good work. B1 to you, brother. Thank you very much for your $10 super chat. It says, it goes on to say, it is no different in Chicago where investors It is no different in Chicago, where investors are converging heavily in the neighborhood surrounding the incoming Obama's Presidential Center in Jackson Park, as they snatch up nearly a third of homes for sale just in the third quarter of 2022. Okay, so this was towards the end of 2022, around I would say, I was gonna say like about August-ish. Like that's about the third quarter, like around August-ish. That's when they really started doing that, according to data provided by Redfin and the National Real Estate Brokerage. Okay, while some protections have been in place in the Woodlawn neighborhood. Now, we were just talking about Woodlawn. What's going on with Woodlawn? Now they buying up homes, investors buying up homes. So they're displacing black people. They're gentrifying the homes from black people, and Lori Lightfoot's helping out the immigrants in Woodlawn. We were just talking about that. Okay, see how it comes full circle? While some protections have been in place in the Woodlawn neighborhood to set aside new affordable housing units, the closest neighborhoods to the center, that's the closest neighborhood to the Obama Center, so y'all know, not much has been done to protect the South Shore neighborhood, where housing is already valuable to market realms, Romeo said. Now, South Shore is, so y'all know, side note, South Shore is very beautiful. That's a very beautiful place. It's right next to the lake. It's right next to the city. You can see the city and the lake. I love driving through there. It's very beautiful. Now, he says, D. Dell in the chat room says he lives in South Shore. The last census form says, they asked me how long I intended to live in South Shore. That's very interesting that they asked you that on the census, how long you plan on staying there. It's an interesting question. Now, it says, in the zip code covering much of South Shore, investors bought up 32% of homes for sale in the third quarter of 2022. That's tied for the most in a city, according to Redfin data. That's far from 17% of homes investors bought in 2015, before Jackson Park was announced as the home for the center for the center, and more than double the 14% of homes bought by investors in 2005, in the middle of the housing bubble. Okay. Redfin categorizes as an investor buyer if the name includes LLC Incorporated or Trust Corporation, and whose ownership code on the purchasing deed includes association, corporate, trustee, company, joint venue, or corporate trust. So these are the individuals. This is the category of the people who are buying up the homes. These are not individuals. These are corporations. And a home is defined as being a single family, townhome, condominium, or residential building with up to 4 units. Linda Jennings, 73, said she has been getting phone calls almost every day from people across the country trying to buy her South Shore condominium. She tells them no thanks every time. Now, this is what they're doing to black people in Chicago. And we just had somebody in the chat room pretty much verify this. All of the homeowners and all of the people who own property, they're being called and harassed on a regular daily basis to sell their property so that these investors can get it, because they know that there's a lot of investment coming into Chicago, specifically in the South Side. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to buy all of that area away from the black people. So when they buy like apartment units and stuff like that, what they're doing to get rid of the black population there is they'll buy the apartment units and then bam, they'll raise them up to a place to make it so inconvenient and unaffordable that the black people have to move away from there. Okay. Now, it continues. Jennings said she and her family moved into South Shore in 1958, and they were one of the first black families to integrate north of 78th Street. She said she went to school in the neighborhood, but went to high school in Hyde Park because South Shore High School wasn't allowing black students at the time. Okay. Quote, all of that and more is why I am not interested in selling the property. This is home, Jennings said. I've been living in this condo for the past 18 years, and the impact of the Obama Presidential Center has been on the minds of every homeowner. I know that what that is going to mean for our taxes. So pretty much all of the black people who own homes in Chicago are pretty much saying that they know for a fact their taxes are going to rise, which is another tactic of gentrification as well too. They know for a fact, okay, well, taxes rise, rent rises, everything. Now we already got inflation, national inflation, so everything is already super expensive already. So with that being said, it's not like Chicago's the most affordable place either. I mean, gas ain't really been the way it's been in the last couple years. Since it's rose, it hasn't gone back down to what it was prior. So with all of those things, and then Obama placing his center, the Obama Center being placed where you got black people, okay, around the area, this is going to increase the taxes of the area. So, and they're saying, hey, you might as well sell the home. They're calling, hey, you might as well sell the property. Okay. Now, it continues to say, Jennings said most of the homeowners she knows are on fixed income, and with rising property taxes, as much needed repairs for some of their homes, she isn't sure enough is being done to protect them. No, not enough, because then what they'll do, another tactic of gentrification, what they'll do is, since they're on fixed incomes, they're going to come with a whole bunch of fees and tickets. Oh, this needs to be fixed. Housing inspections. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. These are all tactics of gentrifications, because they're kicking black people out of the South Side. Pretty much the entire South Side. They're pretty much gentrifying every black person out of there. Now, she goes on to say, I live by myself. Now, mind you, remember, she is 73 years old. She says, I live by myself and I can make ends meet by cutting down food consumption. So man, this is kind of making me very upset. So she says, I live by myself and I can make ends meet by cutting down on food consumption. So she has to cut down on food. Now, she's 83, mind you. 83-year-olds don't really be going out to eat like that. They don't be eating heavy like that. But she's saying she got to make ends meet to keep her home by living by herself. She has to cut down on food consumption. And then she goes on to say, but my overall quality of life will change drastically and not for the best, Jennings said. So she's pretty much going to be struggling. She's been living in this house since 1958. Since 1958, she's been there. Okay. She doesn't want to move. She doesn't want to sell her house, but she knows for a fact everything's about to go up. So she's about to pretty much struggle as a senior citizen, a single senior citizen living by herself. She's not living with her children or grandchildren or anything. By herself, she's pretty much going to have to struggle just to keep her house. Okay. And nothing's being done to help her, assist her, or anybody else who has similar stories just like her. But you have the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, going out of her way to maneuver and manufacture a school, an elementary school, an old broke down elementary school for unvetted, and I'm going to start using that, unvetted illegals to come over here and so they can have shelter. So that's who the priority is, if you ask Lori Lightfoot. Okay. This Jennings said, continuing, this Jennings said is why the city should be working harder to protect renters and homeowners like her from being pushed out. Of course. Okay. Gentrification is gradual right now, but it is intensifying every year, Jennings said. Quote, I would like to see the city give us some sort of community binding agreement that can help stabilize this neighborhood and allow us to stay. Romeo, 28, said it's not surprising that investors are buying more shares of homes in the neighborhoods he's called home for his whole life. That is why he said it is more urgent than ever for the city to pass some sort of community benefit agreement with South Shore like it did with Woodlawn. Speaking of Woodlawn, this is what Woodlawn, they pissed off with the city right now too. Derek, you make a good point. This is why we need our reparations. This is exactly why we need our reparations. Now, it goes on to say, not me, we. That's like an organization, so y'all know. So I know some of the people just coming in like, that's a weird way to say that, but that's like an organization. Not me, we is a part of the Obama Community Benefit Agreement Coalition, which successfully fought for the passage of the Woodlawn Housing Prevention Ordinance, which puts aside $4.5 million of city money for affordable housing programs. It also establishes affordable requirements for 30% of new housing units built on 52nd Woodlawn vacate lots. Romeo said, it is well past time the city commits to protecting affordable housing in South Shore and across all vulnerable neighborhoods, as he already sees residents struggling with increased housing costs. Then the quote. Now I'm going to read a little bit more of this, but I'm not going to necessarily read the whole thing because this is still a whole lot. Okay. Going to get down pretty much to the bottom of the stats. Now it says I just read that part. Quote, I want the kids who live in the parkways. That's an apartment building. I want the kids who live in the parkways or in Jeffreytown to go to Parkside Community Academy, Okeefe School of Excellence, South Shore International College Prep, or Powell Elementary School, to be able to live next to the center and say, I can be that. I can be president, Romeo said. They are not going to be able to do that unless they can afford it. Quote, the Obama Center shouldn't be like Disneyland. That should be a community-centric thing that that inspires the youth, Romeo said. Not me, we, as well as CBA Coalition, recently submitted 744 signatures to add a referendum into the February 28th. Now, February 28th is when the election ballot is, into the February 28th ballot. If those signatures go unchallenged, the referendum will ask voters if the mayor and alderperson support a community benefit housing agreement. Okay. This includes funding home repairs, property tax relief, eviction. Shout out to YoCCM23 for the $50 super chat. He says, great job to you. Thank you very much for the $50 super chat. Much appreciated, much obliged to you. Thank you very much. Starting over. I'm going to start over. I got like an itchy throat. Now, I don't know if y'all can tell. Y'all probably can now, but anyway. So I'm going to read this, and then y'all pretty much got the gif, because my throat is kind of getting scratchy. This includes funding home repair, property tax relief, eviction protection, a ban on application and move-in fees, among other measures. It would appear in 10 precincts and in the 5th Ward. Let me see. Yeah, I can read to the bottom of that. Romeo said the referendum is non-binding and will at least show the mayor's office how important these measures are to the 5th Ward. Now, the 5th Ward is where the Obama Center, I believe last time I Googled, that's where the Obama Center and everything is going to be. Michelle Gilbert, Legal and Policy Director of the Law Center for Better Housing, said it is difficult to say the Obama Presidential Center is the defined reason why investors are buying more shares of homes in those neighborhoods because it is a trend that is happening across the country. Yeah, it's a trend that's happening across the country. That's true. But why specifically now, and then why specifically around that area? So what do you mean? It's difficult to say? It's difficult to say. It's really not difficult to say. That might not be the only reason, but that is the big reason. But that doesn't mean that it isn't a reason to be considered, she says. Okay. Investor-landlord trend to rise rent and oppose fees. Well, remember what I told y'all about those fees, and oppose fees while also moving quickly to evict renters without just cause, Gilbert said. That's a big issue for South Shore, considering it has had the most eviction filings than any other community area every single year since 2010, according to Law Center's data. So y'all, and I've been saying that they've been gentrifying Chicago for a while now. This is what they've been doing. Landlords been pretty much evicting people for damn near no reason. They've been raising the rent to a point where they know that the residents cannot afford to live there. They've been giving fees. If you're like a homeowner, you're paying a mortgage and everything like that. Okay, you got to pay this fee, pay this fee, pay this fee. They come in, they do unnecessary housing inspections that they don't do. They don't do this to any other race of people, but they do this to black people, and they're doing this specifically in the South Side of Chicago. Quote, it's somewhat cynical because if there were more evictions, there are going to be more buildings that are less economically stable, and those are going to be the homes for investors to pick up, Gilbert said. Okay. But it's not just South Shore where investors are buying a higher share of homes. So this is, and remember, I've been saying this for a good time limit. Okay. This is the stats. Now this is 2022. The biggest one is 2022. Now the one in the beginning, that's 2005. They were buying a lot in 2005. Now y'all know that was before the housing crisis and everything like that. Now 2010, that's like recovering from then. Then 2015, it was a big jump. 12, that was decent, but look at the huge jump. This is a huge jump, okay? Almost double what it's ever been, and that's in Inglewood. Now this is in Woodlawn and Hyde Park. This is 30%. This is higher than it's ever been. Look at this, South Shore, 31%, higher than it's ever been. This is, wait, hold on. Okay, no, the blue one is the second blue one. That's Woodlawn. This one is where's this? Oh, it's up at the top. Okay, that's up. My fault. It's up at the top. This one is Greater Grand Crossing. So look at where these people are buying that from. And then this is the South Shore. Now they was buying a whole lot. There's 40%. That's a 2020. Now 2022, it kind of decreased. It decreased to like 10%, but that's still a whole lot. That's still an incredible amount. Y'all give me like 2 seconds. Some water, you know. While y'all taking that in. So, let me see if I can. It's still so much, but I'm gonna just get to like the end of right here. Okay, because I want to read you guys a little bit of the data. In Woodlawn zip code, where some affordable housing protections have been implemented, 25% of the homes were bought by investors. That's up from 15.8 in 2015 and 16.8 in 2005. Okay. In zip codes covering most of the greater Grand Crossing neighborhood, investors accounted for 31% of the homes bought, which nearly tripled the 11.6% purchased in 2015 and doubled the 15.8 in 2005. Investors have also gone as far as West and Inglewood neighborhoods, where they purchased 32% of the homes being sold, tied for the most in the city with South Shore. In 2015, that share was just 12.5. So you're seeing right here, this is the data right here. You're seeing the gentrification statistics right here. This is the statistics of the gentrification. While Lori Lightfoot says that these unvetted illegals are more of a priority than the black people in Chicago, in the South Side specifically. You know, you got older senior citizens who are being forced out of their home pretty much. They can't legally say, okay, you got to get your stuff and leave, but they're going to make it so difficult for her to stay there, and they're going to harass her every day, make it so difficult to where she has no choice, so she's going to leave, okay? Now, she's not the only one. They're also buying apartment complexes, raising the rent. Every black person, pretty much, y'all got to go. The Obama centers coming in. They don't know where they want to put the casino. There's always some debate about where they want to put the casino. If y'all didn't know about the casino that's coming to Chicago. So Chicago's going to look very different in the next like 10 years or so. So they're like, oh yeah, all the black people, y'all got to get out. But the immigrants get to come in though. The immigrants get to come in. Okay. Now, you got senior citizens saying that she's going to have to cut down on food because she can't really afford to keep her house on the South Shore. And Lightfoot's like, damn, what can I do to protect these unvetted illegals? Let me change the school. Let me, fix some housing, the plumbing and the electricity and heating and stuff like that, so they can have a comfortable place to flee their homeland from. Okay. But Chicago's really not having that. They're really not having that. It's a lot of them. They're pissed off at Lori Lightfoot. They're pissed off at the gentrification. A lot of them, they're speaking out. There's a meeting going on like right now about what's going on in Woodlawn as far as the illegals are coming over here. There's a meeting going on right this second. I want to show you guys this clip in a minute. There's a clip of a protest where the black Chicagoans, they're protesting over the fact that Lori Lightfoot lied, which she did. She lied and said that they were not going to be fixing up that elementary school for the shelter for illegals. So let me show you guys that clip. Okay, there we go.
I'm here because I am a child of Woodlawn. I was born and raised in Woodlawn. And I'm speaking on behalf of the people that are here and the ones that's not here, the ones that's at work and couldn't make it here. We are very disappointed in this decision that Mayor Lightfoot has made to place these migrants in our community without our permission. Shame. Mayor Lightfoot would never pull this type of thing in anyone's neighborhood. She would not drop off a busload of Haitians in Little Village. She would not drop off a busload of black people in Chinatown. Never. She would not drop off a busload of black people up north. Never. So it's time for Mayor Lightfoot to understand we will no longer be disrespected by you, ma'am. Please withdraw your decision to put the migrants in our community. There's plenty of room in Little Village for their people. Please speak to Little Village and take them over there. We're not hating on anyone, but we are loving on Woodlawn. That's right. As well, we already are struggling with the issue of fentanyl in our communities. We don't need anything else to add to the struggles that we already have. If there is a lack of resources in our community, we don't need anyone else to come in and suck those up. That's right. We're tired, Miss Lightfoot. We're tired, and we will not be voting for you. Thank you.
Really?
Shout out to her. Shout out to all the FBA family in Chicago. I love y'all. Y'all been pushing back against this nonsense. This is utter nonsense. And one thing I'm glad that she brought up, because too often you get the news cameras who are like, yeah, but don't make it a race thing. Don't make it a race thing. No, this is a race thing. And I'm glad she brought that up. Because Haitians, remember, it was like, 2001? When the Haitians were trying to come over here through in Texas, and they were getting whipped on horseback by the Biden administration, and they were immediately shipped back to Haiti. And now all of a sudden, Biden acts like he doesn't know what to do when it comes to these non-black illegals coming over here. Now, when they're black and they're not supposed to be here, he knows what to do immediately. He gets all of them out. None of them slip through. He gets every single last one of them out of here. Okay. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm pro any immigration at this moment, but I'm saying when they're black, he gets them 100% out. Now, when they're non-black, oh my God, I don't know what to do. They're coming in seeking asylum. Now, the Haitians say if they were coming in seeking asylum, now your black ass, that it don't work. It don't work for black people. Okay, no niggers for asylum. Now, when it comes to these non-black people coming over here claiming they're seeking asylum, then you're going out of your way. You're spending city money and everything to revamp schools, and you're filling them up with shelters and putting them in hotels and giving them the resources, stripping that away from the black people. That's what you're doing when they're non-black. When they're non-black, that's what you do. When they're black, then you get them out of here. So I'm glad she brought this up, because they wouldn't even allow Haitians to come over here, let alone you damn sure wouldn't put them in a non-black neighborhood. You wouldn't be putting them in the Hispanic neighborhoods. Why aren't you putting the Hispanics in Hispanic neighborhoods? Because they don't even want them over in their neighborhoods like that. Not like that. No, they don't. You're not going to put no black people in the north side or in the white neighborhoods or the Asian neighborhoods. You know damn well she wouldn't do that. But she's going to put these unvetted illegals in the black neighborhood, using resources that she could use for the people who are struggling with gentrification right now. Gentrification on top of many other things, but gentrification specifically right now. And she's going to use that to change up a school so she can house them in. So shout out to the family for pushing back against that, because that's utter nonsense. That is completely utter nonsense. That is absolutely ridiculous. Let me put some of the chat room back up, because I guess I need to get cough drops too. Anyway, yeah, we got the chat room up here. B1 the Sage, I see you, brother, in the room. Wonder if I can make this like a tad bit bigger. Chat room. I'm gonna keep it like this. Now, I'm gonna look at some of the chats. They're saying, Yeah, it's just real talk, no nonsense. It's always a race thing. Absolutely, yeah, it is. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, it is. 100%. Didn't mean to do that. It says they have given the Xbox for these kids to play with in the Chiefs 24/7. This is sickening. B1 brother, he says, "What's up, Elite?" in the B1 room. We still got people coming in. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are coming in late, you guys might want to go back because we talked about some statistics and stuff like that. So if you guys are coming in late, I encourage you guys to go back and check everything out. I also encourage you guys to leave a like on this video and share it on your various social media platforms because that really does help the reach and growth of the channel. We're almost at 4K, y'all. We are this close, this close to 4K, and we got some pretty good content coming up for you guys very soon. Very soon, we got some good content, so you guys definitely want to subscribe. You said Sage says same BS is going on in NYC. Exactly. This is pretty much gentrification is going on everywhere. Everywhere is gentrification. Okay, this is going on in Chicago. This is going on in New York. This is going on in Los Angeles. This is going on where else? Where else? In Atlanta, in Georgia. This is going on in where else is this going on in? Texas, in places in Texas. This is going on all over the place. All over the place. Okay? And the mayors, and they have them where black mayors. All of the mayors are black. Oh my God, it's a black mayor, black mayor. And the black mayors are allowing this gentrification, are not giving any sort of pushback to these this gentrification. You say a lot of democratic cities too. That's a good point. A lot of these democratic cities, these Democrats that the black people are told to vote for, told to be so loyal to, these Democrats are allowing this to happen. They're allowing black people to struggle. Some of the places, most of the places, if we're going to be honest, where black people are struggling the most are these democratic cities, are these democratic ran cities, counties, states. Now, this is not me endorsing the Republicans. I'm not doing that, but I'm just trying to say, because the Democrats always market themselves as the pro-black party, but the pro-black party is where the black people are suffering the most. Okay. Now, real women don't do nonsense. It says these demons need us, but they don't want us around. Exactly. It makes no. You're right. Makes no sense. And shout out to the family because they're speaking up against. They're like, hell no, y'all not gonna just finesse us like this and push us out of these. No, hell no. So shout out to the family for that. Miriam says, they don't care, especially Lightfoot. She's a tether. She's a tether, and she's also a part of the academy as well too. Shout out to Torian for that. Therefore, she's also in an interracial relationship. She's a tether, a part of the academy, and a damn swirler. She's all of those things in one. Okay, and she's not even from Chicago. That's a good point. She's not even from there. Okay, says therefore she's going to give all our resources to what's that say? Tethers, even if it means driving us out of our very own land. Yeah, yes, she is. Torian says the pro-black party is funny. Oh yeah, this is the very ironic pro-black party. This is the most ironically backwards working pro-black party that you could possibly think of. It says, people vote along party lines. That's the problem. That's true. People need to vote as far as policy is concerned. There is a lot boarded up protecting housing that could be used for homeless citizens. Exactly. Don't care about the homeless. Don't care about the homeless. Care about these the homeless citizens. These are citizens. These are actual citizens. But you're caring about people who are not even legal to be on this place, to be on this land. Okay. I'm saying if you can petition to recall politicians. Well, look, the election is coming up. And the way things are operating for Lori Lightfoot now is not looking that good for her. Not at all. So there's a very high chance that she might not get her second term. It's a very, very high chance, the way I see it. And don't forget, she was a police administrator. She was, which is why she backs the police so heavily. Lori Lightfoot backs the police very, very heavily. Close this out. So we're about to wrap things up. I appreciate you guys being here with us. Where's the chat room? There's the chat room. So, these people are not even supposed to be here legally. And Lori Lightfoot is going out of her way to provide resources for them while investors are buying up pretty much all, because they were mainly talking about South Shore in that specific article, but they're pretty much buying up all of the houses in the South Side, where you got black people struggling to get loans for houses, to get investments for houses. You're not doing like let me help y'all out with low interest loans or grants, maybe, because that's how a lot of these white folks got their homes. They got their homes by passing their homes down because they were allowed to participate in the G1 bill, the GI bill, and they were given homes. Remember, even with the Homestead Act, they were just given homes and they were allowed to pass those down. Black people, every time you get a home, you got people trying to push you out of the home. And that's happening in Chicago. They're trying to push them out of the home all throughout the South Side. And Lori Lightfoot's all like, you know what am I going to do for these illegals over here? These unvetted illegals. So she's going out of her way to provide resources for them. Which is illegal. She's trying to kind of bribe to a degree, or her allegedly, let me say this, allegedly, her administration, her campaign is out there giving resource or trying to bribe the city, the students, the teachers of the city, to encourage their students to volunteer 12 hours a week to volunteer for her campaign. It says Uncle Lori is the first black woman to hire a Proud Boy gang member to the Chicago police office. Yeah. And defended him. Defended not firing him. He got like a 2-month suspension. Like it was like 2 months, 4 weeks, something like that. Suspension. He just got suspended. And that was it. For being a part of a terrorist organization, because that's what they are. They're a terrorist organization. Dale says, Beetlejuice gotta go. Absolutely. Jay the Informant, I see you in here, brother. Hopefully you all leave a like. I'm gonna try to get a little better before I make some content. There will be content throughout the rest of the week too. Catch me Monday. We got a very special broadcast coming up Monday, so you guys don't want to miss that. So you guys want to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys are here Monday, because we're talking about the Chicago and everything going on. So we got more Chicago news coming for you Monday. So make sure that you guys are here Monday evening. All right. And I will keep you updated because the times might be a little bit different. So if you guys follow me on my social media platforms, which is the Afro Elite on Twitter and then Afro Elite on Instagram, I will keep you guys informed on what is going on coming up Monday. Okay. It says we're at the our sister Tia says we are at 3.97K subs. We're nation strong. She's absolutely right. We will hit that 4K mark. I have no doubt in my mind that we will hit that 4K mark. It's up to me, and with you guys' respect and support, we will hit that 4K mark. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. Thank you very much for the super chats from everybody, from Kevin, from Derek, from McCoy. Thank you very much for your super chats. Thank you very much for everybody for being here with us tonight. Thank you very much for liking, for sharing. Thank you guys for all of what you do. All of your support is greatly appreciated. I will see you guys next time. You all be safe out there. B1 to the FBA family, to the B1 family across the globe. Oh, also, before I get out of here, I want to give a special shout out, a birthday shout out to our brother Khalid Muhammad. Today is Kwale Muhammad Day. He was born this day in 1948. He was born in Texas. Shout out to our B1 family in Texas. Okay. So shout out to him. You know, We honor the people that we're making days, and we're honoring the people who have stood up for us and who have stood against the system of anti-black racism in WS. We are honoring those people by giving them their own days. You know what I'm saying? So today is his day. So happy Dr. Kwame Muhammad Day. Be one to you, brothers and sisters out there.